Greetings, welcome back to PinkOddBird. Today, adventure? I think so. Sorry, I'm holding my camera because this box is huge. Like, I can't even really tell you how big this box is, but this adventurous box is my box of scraps. And as you can see, it is filled to the brim. And then it's so full, I had this pile of stuff sitting on top of the box and I can't do it anymore. So what I want to do is, because this box is so daunting, I feel like trying to use this whole thing to make like just ephemera is going to be, it would take probably all year. So I want to see how many full pieces I have in here, how we can sort this out into making certain, just like easy journals that you can just use for anything really. No like real thought, no rhyme or reason. I want to make it like as pressure free as possible. So I mean, that means like if the one side of the paper is white, you don't have to feel obligated to dye it or coffee stain or tea stain it or anything like that. It's just going to be a white piece of paper, and you can always color it or paint it or glue over it once the journal comes together. So I'm gonna probably sit down on my floor so that I have a nice like space to spread everything out and get everything into piles, and we're gonna see what we come up with. So if you have any scraps and you want to go on an adventure, grab your scraps, sit down, and let's craft. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to start pulling papers out. I guess maybe like kind of by size and maybe pair them together that way. As far as journal base pages go. And I'll try and do some talking here and there, but I feel like for the most part it's going to be pretty self-explanatory. But I will try and record as much of this as possible. But I feel like this is a lot. But we're going to make our way through and see what we come up with. I have my tripod here, so we're going to set that up, and I'll do some talking and tapping in here and there. So let's see what we've got. I just wanted to pop in here quickly and state really fast that this video is really a thinking out loud process where hopefully you will find the things that I'm doing helpful or maybe inspiring if you would do things the same way or a different way. But either way, I hope that it will help you actually do the thing. Additionally, I wanted to state that this is going to be a multi-part project. So there's going to be more than one video for the different processes that we're doing within this little scrappy project. So be sure to come back and watch the rest of the video series if you want to see how I round out these journals that I'm planning to make. Oh, and as always, coffee is essential. Seems like a lot of these scraps are in like the format from whenever I was doing these projects. So as you've already seen, I pulled out a lot of Halloween stuff, but now I'm seeing a lot of like spring stuff. So I'm kind of making like a spring-ish pile. And again, like I don't want to make this too rigorous because then it's going to make you feel like you have to be too structured. If you want to mix all of these papers and themes together, you can. You don't have to divide them up by themes. Like it can be a hodgepodge. Like it doesn't have to be all divided out. It doesn't have to be like that. So, and again, we're not going to be dyeing any paper. We're not going to be printing any other paper. We're not going to pull any scrapbook paper out from anywhere else. All of this is going to be made using only what's in our scrap piles, and that's it. I really want to make sure that you guys, like, if you're doing this with me, you focus on that, because I feel like once you start letting your mind wander in too many places, then you're gonna be like, I don't feel like doing this. So, because it's gonna become overwhelming. It's gonna become a much bigger project. And right now the goal is just we're trying to be efficient. And there's no way that I'm gonna be able to, like, even when I start projects for this year, I won't have any room to put any scraps in because this box is filled like you saw. So, yeah. So let's keep going. Pieces like this, I'm setting in aside like maybe we can make some like easy ephemera or use it like, oh, I don't know, like a pocket. Geez, I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Okay. And then like little pieces like this, I'm setting in a pile with like the book page scraps because we can use it for like collaging. So that's kind of like the strategy and structure. So right now I have a Halloween pile and kind of like a, I don't know, like a spring pile. And then just kind of like a mishmash pile that's not really going to have any rhyme or reason. I've also got a couple other piles. I'll run through these and show them all to you so you all know, but I think you kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. So let's keep plugging away. I'm really excited to see the outcome for this because I need the space, you know. I'm gonna put these with my spring books pile because I think it looks cute. I have, look, plain white paper in here, and I think this is my copy paper. I think I'm gonna just pop this back in my printer. I don't know why it's here. So free pass, you get to go back into the printer. Okay, so a piece like this is gonna probably just be trash now. We don't have to save every little nitty gritty, but this can be used for something. So I'll set it to, maybe we'll create like a little image or ephemera image focus pile or something like that. So I know all of our scraps are going to be different, but if you're organizing along with me, just try and do the best that you can. And, you know, you can see what you're doing. I can't see what you're doing, but that will help. You know, you'll get the feel and you'll get the idea for what it is that you're trying to, you know, what you're able to do with what you've got. So let's put this with spring. This, put it with the pockets, tuck spots, borders. This I'll put with the there. This will be, put it with the ephemera because maybe we can use it to make a tag. These. And I know a lot of times I think what I'm saving these for is like, oh, I have to save it because I know I'm going to do, like, I would save these to use for like maybe like a space project or ocean or something like that. But it's like, I think it's here. I have it. We might as well use it. And my sister is the #1 person who always says this. They sell it every day in the store. So, if you have a place where you can save like good big pieces like this, and you know that you're a frequent flyer on that theme, then yeah, save these in your set place for those kinds of projects. But otherwise, I mean, it's like a 60 cents piece of paper that you can just rebuy if you absolutely need to buy it again. So right now though, we want to focus on paring this down because it's unruly. So now I'm getting into the realm of whenever I was doing space projects. Wow, this is old. These scraps are super old. But I'll put those with the ephemera / image pile. Maybe same with this. I have my templates in here. These pieces right here, though, these really get me. I guess, you know, we could use these to make full pages too, like I've done before. We'll see. We'll see what we need to do. Put these, let's see, the springish. Put those with the spring pile. So I'm going to put some of these with the borders, tuck spots kind of pile. We might actually have to end up making some pages together. We'll see. I'm starting to think that, because some, like, why, April? Why? Why? What do you guys do with your scraps? If you guys have like things that you do with yours, drop a comment down below. Share. Let us know what you do with yours. How you maintain them, rein them in. I think we did like a project before. Oh, you know what? I think I filmed the video and I didn't post it. Look at all these. I still have a video that I think it's in my thing and I have to edit it. But it was like just a video using a bunch of strips like this, which is why I think I tied these all together like this whenever I was done with that video. So we'll leave that as is because it's a bunch of strips. Okay, a lot of stuff like this, which, you know, I guess in the worst case scenario, I could, even though these are ephemera pieces, I could just use these as pages. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be something very stressful. Just ride with it. Let it flow. Let it flow. That's what we're doing. We're not trying to, oh, look at that, add stress or, you know, make it hard on ourselves. This is supposed to be cathartic. Checking back in here. Still making my progress. And I'm trying not to like make too many piles, because I think that's also going to be something that makes it too, you know. So I'm really restricting the piles that I have, and I will make sure that I show you guys every pile that I've created, and then we're gonna dig into each pile together. So never fear. I can't, and some of these scraps are so old, like it's really just like past due time. So looking forward to getting this cleaned up, you know. It's not like I won't have a chance to make new scraps this year. Certainly wouldn't have space for them if we weren't doing this, that's for sure. Just a bunch of weird stuff that I've just been saving. So like, it's not even all scraps in this pile, which is what's really getting me too. Some of these book pages that I have in here, I could also use as base pages, like if we need more pages. Well, except for like this, because these pages are a crack, too old. I use those for like collaging or like when I Mod Podge, something like that. So it's like all Halloween. Yeah, Halloween pile. You know, and I think that's like part of the thing. It's like sometimes we have to just stop like dodging it, and you just gotta like go in and face it like head on, because I mean, is there any other way to do it? Is there any other way? I don't think so. Let's see, I'm not sure. Like I said, like some of these, like if I get too short on having pages that I could use as the base of the signatures, then I don't mind folding pages like this, even though they're meant to be like this. I don't mind folding them so that they could be a page in the signature. I just don't know where. Maybe I'll put these with like the Halloween pile, and these with the spring pile. Even though it's not like spring, look, even this, like my prompt list, I could use as a base page. All right, we're making some headway here. I've got about 10 piles. I have one pile of chipboard, one kind of like Halloween-y pile. This is probably the biggest pile of just like strips and random stuff like that. A little pile of envelopes. A pile for like images and ephemera kind of stuff. This pile is for like collaging or stuff like that. I've got a few book pages in there as well. That's my paper that's going back into the printer. There's this little just random pile. There's the spring-ish / Alice in Wonderland pile, coffee stained paper and strips pile, and then space pile. So this is how the box is looking. You can see definitely making some progress. Still got a little ways to go, but we're going to just keep going. I think I'm just going to have to go with the flow and see what I feel drawn to do next. And maybe you guys will continue to follow along with what I'm doing, or maybe you'll be like, no, I think this makes more sense. But either way it goes, you're still making some progress with your scrap piles and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think I kind of have an idea, but I think it has to go in tandem. Like I have put some strips, like for example, I put some strips like this in the Halloween pile because it goes with it. But then I have that big pile of like 7 inches high worth of strip scraps. And I kind of want to just like organize it a little. So I think that's what we're going to do to try and keep ourselves sane while we're working through this. But I'm happy that I'm starting to see, you know, like something like this. I really am not sure why I saved it, but I guess maybe I had a reason like this. I mean, it could, I just don't have any. You can use those as like little decorative strips when you're making tags and stuff like that. But to me at this point, some of it is a little excessive and unnecessary. Ugh, okay, I have to say at this point, I feel like just stopping. But we've made it this far. I'm gonna keep going. How it goes. But I'm just gonna keep plugging away here, sorting these items into their piles. Oh my gosh. I have a whole like little wow. I feel like I remember making this a long time ago. Just probably using scraps, which is probably why it's in the scrap pile. How funny. Oh, I didn't stitch it either. It's just tied with the twine. Pretty cool though. I like it. I think I'm going to add that to one of my Happy Mail bundles that I've been curating for a long time. Are you guys still with me? Can you see the light at the end of the tunnel? The light, actually, speaking of it, it's a little weird outside, but sorry about that if it's too dark. But we're almost done. It's just really like all these little nitty gritty. And some pieces like this, I'm like, okay, we're letting it go. We're letting it go, friends. But if it's more substantial than that, I'm just going to keep it. And I guess if you're doing this along with me, you can kind of think about your process too, or maybe use some ideas from what I'm doing here. But once I get this all done, I'll show you where we're at. And on the next video, we'll come back and do more of this. So we're going to keep it moving. Ugh, it's just, look at all these, like, oh, look, there's an envelope. Goes with the envelope pile, makes it easy for me. And it's easier, too, for me to just pull out some of these bigger pieces, and then pieces that I can clearly see are, like, ephemera. So, focusing on those to try and make this a little bit easier and faster. Okay. So, we're just going to keep plugging away. All right, we're getting down to like the nitty gritty of stuff, and just like certain little things. I'm just like, okay, you can go. I've got a really good amount of stuff in these piles, and it's just becoming kind of repetitive. So some of these like little pieces I'm just going to get rid of. So I do have a trash pile now. But I can't tell you how happy I am to see the bottom of this darn box. Sorry, I know this isn't the most compelling video, but I think that at least seeing someone else do it might give you a little bit of encouragement and motivation, like, you know, to do the things that you've been kind of just putting off for a little bit. and something that might actually benefit you and your crafting space. Like for me, I know like one thing that really like gets me down when I'm crafting is having a space that's too cluttered, and this box was doing it. Like it was just, it's too much, you know. At some point it's like either, it's kind of like use it or lose it. That's kind of what I think. Look, 2021. I'll put it there because it can still be used as a collage piece on a tag. But yeah, it's kind of like use it or lose it. Like this I'll save for the space pile. And I don't know. I think that's just like what we have to do, because otherwise we're going to end up saving stuff for infinity and beyond. And that's not going to help, or, you know, it's just really defeating the purpose of probably why we intended to save this stuff in the first place. So I don't know. I hope you're doing yourself this same favor, this same service, and make something out of nothing, essentially, because right now this box of scraps it's nothing. It's just sitting here. But I actually do have a true pile of scraps, which is nice because it's what should really only be in here, but that wasn't the case. So trash, trash. I'll keep that. Trash, 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 trash. Most of this is really just trash. I'll keep this piece. A lot of those. Trash. I'll keep this little stamp. Trash. Trash. Oh my gosh, you guys. I can't even tell you, if you're not doing this and you want to get like a little jump start on doing something that's not... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pulling on the cord for my charger. A jump start on something that's easy and it's just going to make you feel better. Do this. Trust me. I already feel better, and we haven't even made a journal yet. Okay, so I'm going to take out those last little bit of stuff, and then I'll show you guys my piles. Okay, by and far, this was the worst pile. These like random strips and stuff like this, just overload. Here's like the Halloween-y kind of dark pile, the chipboard pile. Again, we have like an ephemera or an image pile or things that we can use on tags. This is a pile of like book pages and actual like true scraps. Things that could and should really be in this scrap box. This is just a random pile. This is a pile of like coffee stain paper. Here's like the spring pile or / Alice in Wonderland pile. And last but not least, the space pile. So I think what I'll do next is I want to get going into these piles and see like what we've got as far as is it enough to make like a signature or maybe two, and separate those like signature pages from like what could be used to make either Franken pages or ephemera for the book or pockets, etc. So let's do that. Okay, friends. So now we have the box is completely empty right now. We have our piles around us, but don't let that get to you. We're going to take a break after this, and then we'll come back to it for the next video. But for right now, now that I've got these into piles, I want to only focus on the piles that I have that are supposed to be like for journals. And I have 3 piles that are supposed to be like journals in the end. So what I want to start, there was a piece of trim in my box, which shouldn't be there, but it was there. Okay. So how I'm going to do this is like pieces like this, like I do have an ephemera pile, but pieces that were very specific to a theme, I tried to set them into the piles of that theme. So that way, when I'm working on the signature and the journal / journals, depending on what I can get out of this, I don't overlook it when it's just in the generic ephemera pile, even though I am going to go through everything at the end from the ephemera pile. But this is just the way my brain is organized. So now I'm going to look through this pile and I'm going to separate anything that is going to be like ephemera, anything that is going to be like a pocket or something like that, anything that I could use to make like a Franken page or just pieces like this, anything that I could use as like a full page or a half page in the journal. This whole sheet of like ephemera. So ephemera, put this with ephemera, a lot of ephemera here. And just because you're putting this in these piles doesn't mean that you're forever committed to using it only for that, but it's just going to be like our secondary step, like our second level of organization for this little project that we're doing. So I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun with this because I feel really good about like working towards getting this, you know, cleared out, you know, because it's been too long, I think. All right, so I'm going to keep going. All right, so I'm almost done filtering through this pile, and I'll show you kind of like how I've broken these up, and it does, like, again, like I said, it doesn't have to be definite because, you know, things are subject to change, but this at least gives us a little bit of organization for like where our eyes are looking and things like that. And what we need to do, and we can always pick and pull from other piles to round out what we're trying to do. Right now we're just kind of like postulating on, you know, what's what, because I don't really have a definitive answer yet. So there, that's my whole pile. That was like a Halloween-y kind of pile, and it looks like from what I pulled out here, this is going to be my pile of what I would potentially use as all like base pages for the signature. There's some like printed paper that's like on copy paper. There's scrapbook paper. There's some coffee stained paper, pages that I was intending to use as ephemera, but they could also be used as my base pages if I need them to. There's heavier cardstock, different types of coffee stained paper, and more cardstock, things like that. So these are going to be like for my base pages pile now, which is cool because I think I definitely have enough there. Then this will be used to make Franken pages if I need them, and if I don't, then we can use it to make like Franken tags, Franken pockets, Franken whatever we want, or side tucks, whatever. So that's what this pile is going to be. And actually, I'm going to add these. So I'm only breaking this down into 3 piles now. And then the third pile, the pile within the pile within the pile. Like we're just dissecting piles. Okay, this is like the ephemera pile of stuff that's like already kind of like ephemera, and or like little words, things that I could use to collage with. And if I don't use all of these like strips and all of this, I could use some of these to back the thinner pieces or make tags out of the ephemera pile. All right, so I hope this is making sense. Now, however many piles you have, why don't you go ahead and get your piles organized this way, where it's like signature pile, pocket, or tag, whatever you want to call it, pile, and then an ephemera pile. Things that you could use that are just like straight up pieces of ephemera, or you could use to like collage to make ephemera. Okay, so that's the formula that I'm giving to you here. I'm going to do the same with my other 2 piles off camera, and then when we come back for the next video, we're going to start trying to put together these signatures. So I'm really inspired by this. I hope you guys are having fun with this and joining along with me in this. If you are, leave a comment down below. I'd be really interested to see how many of you guys are participating in this with me. That would be really fun to just know, like, you have enough scraps like I do to do something like this. I feel like we all do. And yeah, so I think that is going to wrap it up for me for Now, be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.